There's a charge. It's on the bill.
Say it again.
Lili Nishmas Brocha Bas David. Who else? You said something about Yenta before.
No.
You messed up the name? Today's Daf Yud. Boy Romi Bar Chama. Tab Daf Yud. Couple lines down. Magdish Moisev Chomesh, Oy Mikaper Moisev Chomesh. Right? So we had yesterday, we started the sugya of redeeming. If you redeem a carbon, you have to add a Chomesh, you have to add 20% milligav, 25% millibar. Who does it exactly? Is it the person that brought the carbon or the person that's using the carbon? The person that designated the carbon or the person that gets the kapara from the carbon? Omar Rava, Omar Kro. If you remember yesterday, at the end of yesterday, we're flying and we learned this pasuk. We used this pasuk to tell us that there's a secondary gedusha. So if you take an animal and you redeem it, the second animal is a secondary gedusha. It's the sheni. The Gemara calls it a sheni. In English, it's secondary. It doesn't have as much kedusha as the first one. And the secondary animal doesn't need to do a pidyon. You don't have to do a pidyon with a chaymesh. You just paid it. That's if it's pidyon or temurah. Temurah is also secondary. The second animal in temurah, the one you do temurah with, you have the original animal, and then you take a second animal. You say this animal should be instead of the first. That second animal is a secondary animal, and when you pay to that second animal, you don't have to add a chaymesh. Where did the Gemara learn that from? From this exact pasuk. Magdish yigal is beisoy. The original, the magdish. Now the Gemara is using it to say literally the magdish. You have a magdish and you have a miskaper, Reuven and Shimon. Who has to bring the chaymesh? The poor guy that's doing his friend a favor and buying his friend a carbon. You tack on another 25%. You want to do it correctly. It's going to cost you now. Magdish yigal is basically Magdish veloy miskaper. It's a big chiddush. You think the guy that needs the kapara, he did an aveira, he should pay for it. No. Once you start, you have to pay for everything. Boy rame bachama Magdish oisa temurah oy miskaper oisa temurah. So now we see that there's a difference between the person that bought the animal and designated the animal to the person that actually gets the kapara from the animal. And we know that temurah is only the owner. Only the owner could do temurah. So who's the owner here? Halachically, who's the owner? The person that bought it or the person that's getting the kapara? Omar Rava, imkein motzinu. If you even have a question, then it comes out motzinu tzibur v'shutvim oisim temurah. We know there's a halacha that shutvim cannot do temurah. There's no temurah with a carbon of a shutvim or a tzibur. Yet according to you, if the magdish is important over here for temurah, then the magdish should be able to do temurah for a whole tzibur. Because he's a yachid. In terms of ownership, in terms of who the magdish is, he could be a yachid. How? Kegoin, the shavu shliach la'akdushay. If whole Klal Yisrael asked one individual Reuven to bring a carbon for them, by the way, the Achreinim Adan, then Viter, it's a Shutvas. So let's say the Chiezer says the Klal Yisrael asks Reuven to bring Reuven's own carbon for them.
It shouldn't be theirs.
It shouldn't be theirs at the time of the Shlichus, whatever it is. So at that point, but since he's the Magdish, he should be able to do Temurah on that animal, because it goes by the Magdish and not by the Miskaper Klal Yisrael. And he's an individual. He's a single person. A single person could do Temurah, and we learned that there's no exception to the rule. When it comes to Shutvim, there's never a Temurah in a Shutvus Behema.
What does that even mean? And apart from the Kohen Gadol, who's Mechaper al Beis for Kastim Israel, I can't be mechaper for you.
No, the carbon is for everybody.
I bring carbon, it's mechaper for me. My carbon can't be mechaper somebody else's avera.
It's everybody's korban. He's a shaliach.
It is everybody's korban.
Everybody asked him to bring a korban.
No money. Everybody paid.
No, that's what we have to say. It's his own, but he is doing a shlichus for everybody else.
So who told you that it's not true?
Didn't give him any money.
That was not true. No, the Mishnah over there. We know in the Mishnah.
Who told you that that's
This is considered a korban tzibur. The Gemara understands this is a korban tzibur. I thought about it also when I was reading it. Maybe this case is a little different. It seems like from that the Mishnah over there should have said there is a case that everybody's niskaper, but there's a little bit of a trick beforehand, and it's shaykh to do tomorrow. It seems like there is no case even if you do this trick. Another question. In the parsha of a Nazir brings a oila and a chatos and a shlamim, and it says tasig yodoi. Now we always, when it says the word tasig yodoi, we know it means a korban oila v'yored, whatever you could afford. But by Nazir, there is no oila v'yored. So what's going on here? What are these words, b'chlal? V'chi Nazir nidoim beheseg yad o keitzad. We have to explain korbanoi l'Hashem al nizroi shehifrish mishaloi. Tasig yodoi in this pasuk is not referring to oila v'yored. It's just referring to that a person is so poor that his friend could bring a korban for him. That's the chiddush. I would think he can't. Komashmal and he could. What's the big chiddush that a friend could bring a korban for you for kapara? Why shouldn't the friend be able to do? Unlike your question, Mr. Kornbluth, over here it says that your friend can be mechaper for you. Pshita you could. Elo le'inyan Temurah. Obviously, it's coming to talk about our question. Again, if there's a whole extra wording here in this pasuk, tasig yodoi. Tasig yodoi cannot mean oila v'yored because there is no oila v'yored. So tasig yodoi means that your friend can bring it for you, but it can't mean that your friend brings it for you because your friend, of course, can bring it for you. Why is it different than any other korban in the Torah? The kitzer, the word tasig yodoi comes to teach us a murdig halacha that the miskaper, the nazir, he could do temurah to it even though he didn't pay a dime for this animal. It's his legabe temurah. So you're asking me, who does the temurah? The person that bought the korban or the person that gets the kapara for the korban? It's the person that gets the kapara because his mufurj in the pasuk tasig yodoi.
That represented it all in the words of the pasuk.
What?
That represented it all in the words of the pasuk.
We have nothing to do with them. Oh. Says the Gemara, Allah, lenient Temurah. Now you have to take this word out, Temurah. What are you looking at?
nothing.
You use the whole smile, okay. You're happy with the setup, it's good.
No,
What? No what?
nothing today, huh?
Oh no, zero charge, zero.
What's the raya from
I could have
Nazir?
stayed home.
What's the raya from Nazir that I'm
The right from Nazir, because the words are as ashetasig, cannot mean oila v'yored. It can't mean that stam a person can buy you a korban because a person can buy you oila, can buy you chatas. So why is the Torah telling you dafkin by Nazir shetasig? It's telling you that a person could do temurah for you.
That's what we learned from Ashetasik.
That's it. Yes. Where does it say in the words? Now, if you stop and read these words, it's very interesting. My Gemara always takes out the words, and without even telling you that it's taking it out, it puts it in. Over here, if you read the words, the mamish doesn't make sense. Lo, li, and Temurah. But my Gemara should take it out and put in the word kapara. So I'm just coming up with a theory now that this is not even, my Gemara takes out stuff that came out by the Goyim, like in recent years. Like it's obvious that they just did it. So we're not even going to make a big deal. We're going to take out the word Akko and put in Goy, whatever they do. But over here, this is like a shibush from... Without the shita, it doesn't make any sense. Yesterday also we had the word echad many times, and if you don't put in the word acher, it makes zero sense, the whole sugya. And he doesn't even take it out, he just leaves it in here. Okay? So over here you have to take out the word Temurah and put in kapara. Loi le'in kapara. Because Temurah is the answer we just finished saying. So it cannot mean le'inyan Temurah. Loi le'inyan Temurah, because we just finished saying Temurah. So loi le'inyan kapara. The pasuk is coming to say that a person, your friend, could buy you a carbon. Of course, a friend could give you a carbon because it's a matana. Without this pasuk, since it has karbanoi, so I need a counterbalance word asher tasig. And don't ask me, don't say either of them, and then it'll be by itself pasha that you can bring your thing, because I need karbani for other things. Akopanoi, it says karbanoi, and it says asher tasig yadoi. It teaches us midacherim that other people could buy you a carbon and another could be miskaber with it. Oh, that's what they ask right now, because the Gemara says, "My have Allah." No, what do I do at the end of the day? Who does Temurah? And Noam is asking, what do you mean, Ma'av Allah? We had a great raya, Rabbi's first raya. The Gemara ignores it. So the Rishonim talk about it. It seems like, okay, it's obvious to the Gemara, it's not a good raya. I don't know the exact reason. They go through this whole, it's not a good enough raya, for whatever reason. I read it. I knew it at one point. I'm saying it wasn't like, wow. It was like,
Maybe because it's maybe true.
your kasha. It could be. No, I don't think that was saying that. I think the Shita talks about it.
Yeah.
It's the Shita?
Yeah.
Okay. Toshma. So we're trying to prove who brings the Temurah. The person that designates the animal, or the person that gets the kapara from the animal. It can't get any clearer than this. Rabbi Yochanan Mefurish says a couple of halachas. Magdish Moisef Chaimish. The person that we already established in the beginning of today's sugya, the person that buys the animal and is magdish it, he's the person that when it's redeemed has to pay the 25% or the 20%. Umiskaper oisa Temurah. And the person that gets the kapara brings the Temurah. That we learn from the first part of Nazir, before the Tchi of the Gemara. And this, we also had this halacha, I don't remember when, just recently, that if you do, you're allowed to take truma for your friend, and for some strange reason, we had a havamina that the friend could benefit from it. The owner of the fruit could say, wait a minute, you're doing truma for me? I get all the benefits of the truma. Kamashmal, no. The toivis hana. What's the toivis hana? We just had it that the grandfather is a Yisrael. His daughter married a kohen, so his grandson is a kohen. So the grandfather could pay another Yisrael to give his grandson truma and maestros. Obviously, a kohen cannot pay a Yisrael to give himself truma because that is kohenim sevis agronos. But there's one exception that the grandfather Yisrael could pay another Yisrael to give his grandson the truma, and it's a small hana, toivus hana. And I would think, for whatever reason, that the person that owns the fruit, he has nothing to do with this truma at all. His friend is doing the truma. He could decide which Yisrael goes to Kumashmal or no. It's the guy doing the truma. My taima, and I even need a pasuk for this. Omakro is called Maser Tvoscha Venosato. The person that does the Meiser, he's the one that gives. Zok the Mishnah. Ein mamirin lo eivarim bu'ubarin v'lo ubarim be'ivarim. In order to do Temurah, you need an animal, you need a behema. Says the Mishnah, you should just know that a limb of an animal is not considered a behema, and the fetus of an animal is not considered a behema. You need a full-fledged behema. At the end of the Mishnah, we have Rabbi Yossi, the famous Rabbi Yossi, that the leg of an animal is a whole animal. Why? Because it's nispashet. But as is, it's not an animal. If you take ispashtos, it goes from the leg and transfers to the rest of the body. Okay, so you're actually talking about a whole animal when you say leg. But stamazay, a leg is a leg. So so you can't take a leg and say this should be a Temurah on a ubar, and that a uber cannot be a Temurah on an Aver, and then we'll step it up on can't take a whole animal and say this should be Temurah on this one leg that's Kadosh, and this one leg cannot be Temurah on a whole full animal. You could say that this leg is Temurah for a whole animal, but not the opposite. Why? If a person says this leg should be an oila, kula oila. Why? Because it's nispasha to the whole animal. So in the same way that if you say this leg is an oila, we say halachically it transfers to the whole animal. So if you say this leg is Temurah, so the kedusha of Temurah transferred to the whole animal.
You could have a case if you had a whole animal that's kadosh and then the leg got chopped off, and somebody comes then and says, this animal's a Temurah on that leg.
It's not enough. It's not a whole behemoth. No, time out. Rabbi Yosi says always on one aver you cannot make Temurah to one aver. You can make it could be Temurah to that right. So in your case that it chopped off is just you're just explaining how do you get a leg that's how do you have such a metzias that a leg is kodesh?
Right. Just a leg. Yeah.
Itmar. Now we have a very fundamental machlokes in all of Shas. If a person points to a fetus, to unborn animal, and says, "I want this animal to be a chatos, I want it to have gedusha," it's not chal. He does admit that if you are magdish the mother, then the fetus is yerech imoy, and the fetus will have gedusha, but only as a secondary gedusha. If I say the mother is Kaddish, so that includes the mother's heart and lung and fetus. But I can't use the fetus as my chatos. The fetus will be born and the fetus will die. I can't, it's not a carbon. Whereas Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan Omar, Kedusha chala al ubarim. A ubar is its own individual entity. So I could point at the fetus, and the mother is a chulin, and I could say, I want that fetus in a cage. The mother is just a box, and the uber inside the box should be my chatos, my oila. And the mother is not. I could say the mother is a chatos and the fetus is a oila. Two separate things, because it's not connected to the mother. V'az Rabbi Yochanan tamei, the Omar Rabbi Yochanan higdish chatos muberes v'yolda. If you are magdish a chatos, which was pregnant, v'yolda, rotza bo miskaper, rotza bevloda miskaper. So Rabbi Yochanan says, I could designate the uber with inside the mother as its own chatos. It's not considered a vlad chatos. We have the famous 5 chatois that die. 5 chatois that die is a vlad chatos. One of them is a vlad chatos. Meaning, if I have a chatos, I designated the mother as a chatos, then she got pregnant, so then the vlad is bye-bye. But if she's already pregnant, and I point at the vlad, at the mother, and I say the mother is a chatos, the vlad is a chatos, that's not a vlad chatos. That's the individual chatos. It's just a backup chatos. It's as if I said on 2 separate animals that they're both chatois. That's fine.
Why not say that it's one chatos in 2 parts?
Because it's lav yerechima. The fetus has nothing to do with the mother.
Because he says lav yerechima.
Rabbi Yochanan holds lav yerechima.
The blood is still a limb of the mother.
No, not according to Rabbi Yochanan.
Until it's born, no?
No, not according to Rabbi Yochanan.
Would you bring the pregnant animal as a chatas with the blood before it's born?
Yeah. What's the problem? Why is that a problem? You're killing another chatas. Utsricha.
He's saying it's 2 chatas.
No, it's a limb of the animal. Why are you bringing?
You only brought it's a what do you call it?
Otherwise it's chulin nazara.
How do you? What's the name of that farm in Australia? It's Ben Pekua. It's not 2 chatais. It's at that point. It's.
How do you know it's not going to a mum, baby? How do you know?
Whatever it is, it is. Ma baya.
Why does he get to choose?
You would say you're
Well, he points at two animals. He says these two animals are my chatos. He gets to choose which one he wants. Okay, but zoo is two.
So it's gonna
Within her, she has another one. Right now, he's looking at one because it is one. It's zoo, but inside that box, there's another animal hiding in there.
maybe it'll be a neighbor.
Utzricha. Okay, so be neifel. Be neifel. You won't use it. Utzricha. So now we have two cases here, really. Could Rabbi Yochanan says, could you point at a uber without the mother and say the fetus is a carbon? And could you point at the mother with the fetus? It's two separate halachas. Why does he have to say it twice? Utzricha. It's interesting. I'm just thinking now to myself aloud. So the Gemara says it's tzrichusa. Why Rabbi Yochanan says it twice? And the Gemara in the tzrichusa says the tzrichusa twice, because you have a lishna acher. So it's the tzrichusa. Utzricha diyashmin bahach kamaisa. If you just say on the uber itself, the first case that Rabbi Yochanan said, without the mother, hasam hu da'agdeshe lu bara gufe. So now he pointed the kedusha to the uber itself. Aval hacha da'agdeshe li'imei. Maybe because it's included within the mother, maybe it doesn't get its kedusha. He didn't specify its kaddish. So that's what Chaim was saying. He said zu. He didn't point to the animal and say, oh, it should be kaddish, so maybe it shouldn't be kaddish. I could hear such a tzad. And if it only said the case with the mother, so now the mother, everybody admits you can make kaddish. A mother is a full-fledged animal. So I make a full-fledged animal, so agav the mother, so the other one also has kedusha. But I could point into an animal that you can't even see. You need a ultrasound to see it. So I can make that animal kaddish. Maybe it's not outside. It's not there. Tzricha. Lishna achrina has kemat no difference here. It's just a different lashon mamish. Michael Mashmalon, Imshira Mishuyar. If it doesn't include the ubar, then it's left out. V'ubar lav yarchimahu. The fetus has nothing to do with the mother. V'tarti lamali tzricha. The itmar baha. If it just said you magdish the mother, mishum the imei chazi legufei, migo de nacht kedusha lo nacht nami levlad. Since the kedusha is chal, so it's chal on everything. But maybe if you just point to the ubar, you have no right to go into her stomach and be magdish inside her stomach. Makes sense, right? You can't go and say, "Oh, I want the heart to be kaddish." It's not something you can do. I'm saying like these words. What's hada? Isn't hada Yerushalmi? To me, it seems like it's Yerushalmi. But he said mefurish that he wants the vlad. But when he just spoke about the mother, he didn't speak about the Vlad. Tzricha. Okay. So I would think that you have to say mefurish the Vlad, because uber lav yarchimai. I think this is a little bit what Chaim was saying. Uber lav yarchimai. So you have a hidden animal inside a box, and you spoke about the outside of the box. Me'echetes includes the inside of the box. You have to be specific. There's two separate animals. There's one on the right, one on the left. There's one on the outside and there's one on the inside. You have to say that both are kaddish. Tzricha. Yosiv Rabbi Zero v'komer lo shmaita. Eisvei Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabbi Zero. Keitzad ma'arimim ala b'char. How do you trick a b'char? How do you make sure you don't have to? You could get out of the whole b'char. Hamevaker shoyisemu beres. You have an animal who's about to give birth to a b'char. So he says specifically, I want the fetus, I want the unborn to be an oila. Who does that go according to? That goes according to Rabbi Yochanan, that says I can actually point at a fetus and designate it as a carbon. According to Rabbi Pada, what's his lashon? You can't do that. No, meirechem. When it comes out, meirechem. Not pregnancy. It needs to be born. Bar Pada, en gedusha chala al ubar. And according to Bar Pada, you cannot designate an oila when it's inside its mother. It's a great trick. So if you're chayva oila, I can get rid of your oila obligation by designating it while it's in the stomach, and it comes out, not a bechar. Alma kodesh ubar. That's a mordik raya terbi Yochanan. Yeah, it tells you. Keitzin marim abchar. How do you do it? Lechatchila. I think so. Why not? It has no kedusha. With? To get out of his creed. Oh, you're talking about on Omid Beis on the top over there. They were very mad at him. He lost all his animals because he.
I say good for the Kahanim.
Over here, he's making the.
Mom's taking it away.
He's taking away from the kohen, but he's taking away the mother's kohen, but he's giving it to the mizbeach. I don't know.
Can't get it anyway.
It's not such a nice lashon. Marimin. It's like trickery. Well, be ma'ayin in the Rambam if it's a lechatchila or not. Yolda zochar reizoilo. Amakal juba. Omelei kimas nahi bigdushas domim. And the Gemara is going to use this a few times. We're talking about kedushas domim. It doesn't necessarily mean, according to Bar Pada, that it becomes an oila. It becomes kodesh l'domim. Then, when it's born, I have to sell it and buy an oila with the money. It's not a real oila.
It's also.
Why? What happened to you? Time out. You were over there a second ago, no?
The blower is on us, so we're getting a good ishmak AC.
You just confused. I thought, Mamish, maybe I flipped over or something in my.
Mirror image.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's a mirror image.
The counting the shumas is
It's like a trick.
We learned that you cannot take a proper.
That's what he. I think that's what Noah was talking about. What and make it a what and
not korban. You have to give it kedushas aguf, not kedushas.
but it's a uber.
Even though it's chal, it's not ruined.
It's not right. Yeah, it's not. What is it? It's not born yet.
So could I designate it as a korban here?
So it's raw. If it's raw, so you cannot put kedushas domim, only kedushas is there, because this is what we learn.
We learned that you can't take a full-fledged healthy animal. You can't call this a healthy animal. It's not even a nafel. It's before the gather of nafel.
Could you make it?
It's like anything else. You could be magdish wood. You could be magdish wood. Some magdish the uber. Who told you this thing that it has to be a full-fledged animal in order to be magdish? I can be magdish whatever I want. I can magdish the toe. I can magdish this. I can magdish the uber. Lidomim.
They're the same. It's uber. It's like regular behemoth. So you can.
No, the gabe gedusha, not the gabe regular. What's the issue? This is to take something that's viable for the mizbeach, royal the mizbeach, and be magdish it. You're taking away from the mizbeach. Over here, you're not taking away from the mizbeach. Yes, it has the ability. It's considered lav yerchimo. It's not part of the mother, and it's considered its own entity. It doesn't mean that it's royal the mizbeach. It could be it's a piece of wood that's royal the mizbeach. That's royal for kedusha. Huh?
It says Hoda in Shas hundreds of times.
Hoda, it does? Oh, you looked it up?
10 minutes.
Every Musaf.
Okay. I didn't say it's not in Shas. It says it's not common. How many times?
I don't know, like hundreds.
Tell me how many. It should say on top how many. If it's one per Masechta, then it's okay.
No.
Okay, how many times does it say that in your
It says
shop?
you're scrolling like
How
25.
many times?
Exactly. That's my right. Shkola is Yishalmi. Yeah. Exactly. That's my right. Fine. Kimas nehi. Yeah. What? That's right. 10 times in Shas?
10 minutes. 10 minutes in the Torah.
Oh, wait. 10 minutes. Omar lei. Kimas nehi bigdushas dom. Thank you. Kimas naim b'kedushas domim. Zok the Gemara. Okay, so you're talking about kedushas domim. Mi'alim kedushas domim. The komafkela me'chayra. Just because you made something domim, now it's born. It should still be bechar. How do you know that you could make something kedushas domim and take away its bechayra? Yichap how many halachas we're learning here, one after another, intertwined there. Omar le'in. Yes, if you make an animal kodesh kedushas domim, it can no longer be a bechar vasnan, and I'll prove it to you. Kol kochim shekodam mum kavua legdeisham v'nivdu. That's like a case that we had yesterday. You have kochim that have a mum. You had no an animal that had a mum. You have no business being magdish it, but you will magdish it anyways. So what happens to that animal? It's kaddish l'damim. Vinivdu, but it says mefurish that you have to redeem it. If you redeem it, then what happens? Chayavim b'bchayra u'matanos. Then if you redeemed a nekeva and she had a b'char, then you chayav b'bchar. Mashma time of the lachash shenivdu d'chayavim, avakoyin shenivdu p'turim. What if you didn't redeem her, and she's kaddish b'kedushas damim, and then she gave birth to a b'char? It's not a b'char. The only time it's a b'char is nivdu. Why? And the story, there's no question here. It's mefurish. If you could redeem a female animal who's pregnant and she gives birth to b'char after the redemption, then yes, that animal is a b'char. But if you cannot redeem her, you didn't redeem her, and she gives birth while she's kaddish only b'kedushas damim, then the animal, her baby, is not a b'char. Eisvei ha'omer mashe b'meo shel zu oila. If you point to an animal, you say, I want the fetus to be an oila, muteres begiza, you're allowed to shear that mother's wool because it has no effect on the baby. Vasur ba'avoda, you're not allowed to plow a field with the mother, because by plowing the field with the mother, you're ruining the baby. And the baby inside of her is an oila. So what do you see? You see, I could point at an animal and be magdish, the uber inside, not like Rav Pada. We must say that I am designating the uber inside of her for damim, and still I can't plow a field with her. As we learned before, that if you have a mum kavua, you were magdish an animal with a mum kavua, you have to be paida. After you paida, they go out. Time mishum denivdu. After your paida, hakoydim shenivdu asurim ba'avoida. Again, you have an animal that has a mum. You decided to bring this bal mum as a korban. You can't do that. So what happens to that animal? It turns into kedushas damim, and I cannot plow a field with it. So even though it's only kaddish kedushas damim, I'm not allowed to plow fields with it. So here's another halacha, Rabbi Sam. Anything that's kaddish kedushas damim, you can't do. It's also begiz of avodah.
Straightforward leaders,
Yeah. Hegdish. It's exactly. Meila is not only on Dushas Mizbeach. Eisvei. Eimamirin lo yivarim bu'ubarin v'lo yubarim be'ivarim. That's our Mishnah, yeah? Can't do Temurah from an Aver to Ubar and from an Ubar to Aver. Eimurei hu d'lo meimar. You could be Medayik. You can't do Temurah. Hamigdash kachi. But you could be Magdash. Now, just if you look real quickly at the last line in Taisus, I don't know why, always the last line in Taisus is always very important to our sugya. It says at the last line in Taisus, if it's only Kedushas Damim, then the first part doesn't make sense, because he's trying to do Temurah here. You can't do Temurah to Kedushas Damim. We're talking about an animal that's Kodesh Kedushas Haguf. And Memela, I can't answer that we're talking about Kedushas Damim. Until now we said two tirutzim. Kedushas Damim, Kedushas Damim. Now we're asking a question from the Mishnah that Eimam Mirim Eivarim Bu'ubarim, but it's mashma that I could be Mikadesh Ubar. Yeah, I can say I'm talking about a case of Temurah. Temurah automatically means no Kedushas Damim. Kedushas Haguf. Omerlei this that ein mamirim lo yivarim bu'ubarim is not talking about you pointed to a mother and you said that the uber should be of a kaddish. We're talking about the mother was kaddish already and she had a uber that became kaddish off of her. Ivlad kachim b'mei imanu d'lo yavdin. You're saying because it's in the stomach, she's still pregnant. That's why you can't do this Temurah. You can't. Ho'abroi avdin v'tanya in avlado yisa Temurah. You can't do Temurah off of a newborn. The mother was kaddish and she had a baby. You can't do Temurah off the baby. If you're telling me, again, we're talking about, we started off thinking that somebody designated the unborn fetus. And it says that you could designate unborn fetus. It becomes Kaddish. Says Gemara, no, we're not talking about that you designated unborn fetus. You designated the mother, who through the mother, the unborn fetus had some sort of Kedusha, secondary Kedusha. Even Rabbi Yochanan admits the secondary Kedusha to it.
Mother was already pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
Already become pregnant after. So I think it makes a difference.
Why? Because even if you're pregnant before, you have to kill the animal. If it's chatas, it dies. But who says it doesn't have Kedusha? There's nothing to do with it. You can't bring it as a carbon, but it has Kedusha. So why can't I use that Kedusha that it has and transfer? I'm just saying, maybe. I don't know. Why can't you transfer that Kedusha from that unborn, from the newborn fetus that has a Kedusha of a chatos, but it's yirat yistoy? Here, if a guy designates a chatos and then he dies, what do you do with the chatos? Kill it. But the chatos has enough Kedusha in it that you can do Temurah to something else. Just because you kill it doesn't mean that it doesn't have Kedusha.
But if it's already Kaddish, how could you use it to swap another animal that's Kaddish? It's already Kaddish.
No, you're using it as a sample. It's a source.
That's the second case.
First, we have enough Kedusha.
No, but they're both cases in the Mishnah. Mishnah is both cases. You can't use a newborn.
So that case won't have that one is not Kaddish. In the case that it's Kaddish, the mother is Kaddish.
Why you call it both? Why you call it both?
All right, now we could say whatever we want. Hamani Rabbi Yehudi, the Omar Havlad Oisa Temurah. Okay, so it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. It says Vlad is Temurah, but of course, if we're going to go according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're going to have another problem. Rabbi Yehuda Temurah Hudalei Homigdash Kachi. It seems like from the Mishnah, the same diuk that we made a second ago, that you can't do Temurah, but you could do Kachim. Omar Rabbi Yehuda Yivarim Le Kachi. You can't be Mekadesh an Ever. Omar Le Hachmaiskino be'Ever Shaneshama Tluyiba. You're talking about a specific case in an Aver that the Neshama is totally, that even Rabbi Yehuda is going to hold that it is Mekadesh. Let's stop over here. No charts. I'm all that happens.